Hello everyone, welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to the match preview for the 6th round FA Cup fixture between Sheffield United and Arsenal. The 6th round, better known as the quarterfinals, just one step away from Wembley, and here we go again. We've always done quite well at Wembley and in the FA Cup in general, so I really hope we get there once again. So in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the FA Cup history between Sheffield and Arsenal. I'm also going to be taking a look at the earlier fixtures this season, the two games we've played against each other earlier this season. Just a reminder of the games. I'm also going to be taking a look at our lineup the last time we played an FA Cup game against Portsmouth before the lockdown. And at the end, of course, I'm going to be giving my prediction and taking a look at what my lineup would be for the game. Got it? Let's just get straight into it. So the last time Sheffield played against, the first time we traveled to, I'm so confused. The first time we played Sheffield United this season, we played them in October and in January. So the first time we played them this season, I had not even opened this account. I had not started this YouTube channel. And Emre was still manager. So let's say a lot has changed since then, and it's only like 7-8 months ago, but a lot has changed since then. In total in the FA Cup, we've played Sheffield United 12 times since 1903. We've played them 12 times in the FA Cup. We've won 6, we've lost 3, and we've drawn 3. I know that's like more than 100 years ago, but if you believe in history and all that, those are your stats. We've won 6, lost 3, and drawn 3 in the FA Cup between whenever we faced Sheffield United. The last time we played them in the FA Cup, we needed a replay to progress to the quarterfinals. 1-1 at Highbury. We traveled to Bramall Lane, drew 0-0, and we won 4-2 on penalties. Guess who was the man of the match and who actually saved us in that game? Who was our hero in that game? Manuel Almunia. He saved 2 penalties and helped us in our 4-2 win. And of course, just to remind you guys, that season we went on to win the FA Cup. So the last time we played Sheffield United in the FA Cup, 2005, we went on to beat Manchester United in the final, also on penalties. Almunia saved us on that day against Sheffield United, saving 2 penalties. And just to add to that stat, we also played them in the 2003 semi-final FA Cup, and we also went on to win the FA Cup that season. So that is a very good start for us. That is very good history. The last 2 times we've played Sheffield United in the FA Cup, we went on to win the FA Cup that season. And it's not like years ago, it's just 2003 and 2005. Those are good statistics. Unlike the previous games I've looked at, Man City, Brighton, Southampton, at least we actually win some games against them. Jagielka actually played in that game. He's the only player who played in that game that could possibly play in this game. Out of all the 26 players who featured that day, he's the only one who can probably play in this game. How many years later? 15 years later. That is crazy. Of course, he went to Everton and then came back to Sheffield United. Of course, the 2003 one, Seaman made that brilliant save that we all remember. That I'll put it on screen right now. The brilliant save, one of the best saves ever. Between 2006 2008, we faced off 4 times in the League Cup and in the Premier League. We won 3, twice in the League Cup. Also, remember against Southampton, we picked up our first away win under Mikel Arteta, which was very much needed. That was a very much needed win. Sheffield United have also played 3 times like us since the lockdown, since the Premier League returned. And here's another stat for you guys. Sheffield United have played 3 times since the lockdown. We've also played 3 times since the lockdown. 18 points combined up for grabs. Both teams have only picked up 4 points combined. 1 draw for Sheffield United and a win for us. Sheffield United lost the 2 other games, and we lost the other 2 games too. Sheffield United drew with Aston Villa, although they should have won that game because the Hawkeye didn't work that day. So that's another good start. Both teams have not looked good since the lockdown. So is it going to be a 0-0? I don't think so. Let me take a look at the FA Cup runs for both teams this season. Sheffield United in the 3rd round, they won 2-1 against National League team Filed. They also traveled to Millwall in the 4th round and won 2-0, a good result. It's never easy to travel to Millwall, sorry. And in the 5th round, they also traveled to Reading and won 2-1. So that has been their journey in the FA Cup this season. A win against two championship teams and one National League team. For Arsenal, we beat Leeds 1-0 in the 3rd round at home, another very good championship team. In the 4th round, we traveled to Bournemouth and won 2-1. And in the 5th round, we traveled to Portsmouth and won 2-0. So we also had to overcome a championship team, a Premier League team, and a League One team. So that has been the run for both the teams this season. And last time out, when you played them, let me take a look at the earlier fixtures this season in the Premier League. I'll start with the first one where we traveled to Bramall Lane and lost 1-0. Lys Mousset scored in the 30th minute from a corner. On that day, we dominated possession. We had 68%, they had 32%. We dominated the corner count. We had 12, they had 7. Dominated the shots, 10-7. On target, 3-2. So it was a good day. Both teams had 4 bookings that day, 8 in total. So it was quite a rough game. We should have had a penalty on that day, but of course, Mike Dean and the VAR never works for us anyway. In the home game, we drew 1-1. They scored late on in the 83rd minute. Martinelli scored that game. Of course, Aubameyang was suspended in that game from his red card against Crystal Palace. So we've only managed to pick up 1 point from unavailable 6 this season against them. Not what we expect from a promoted team. And let me go back to the earlier fixture at Bramall Lane. Pepe missed a very good chance that day. He was man of the match though, but he was subbed off by Emery. I don't know why, I still don't understand why. And before that, we had just beaten Bournemouth 1-0. And then we came to face Sheffield United and lost. And from that, we never won another game until December against West Ham. So that was the start of our very, very bad form. And that was the start of Emery's sacking, let's say. Last time out against Portsmouth in the FA Cup, we started with Eddie up front, Martinelli on the left, Willock, Nelson, Guendouzi, Torreira, a back four of Saka, Murray, Luis, Socrates on the right, and Martinez. Sabias came on for Torreira, Shaka came on for Willock, Niles came on for Nelson. Of course, 3 subs were allowed that time, 5 subs are allowed right now. Holding, Pepe, Laka, and Leno unused substitutions that day. And I think we might have a quite similar lineup to this. I'm expecting a couple of players to start. Of course, the likes of Martinelli and Murray are now injured. I don't know the situation with Guendouzi. Luis could be back. I don't know if he's going to be played immediately. So we could see most of those players playing again. But with all that said, let me get into what my lineup would be for the game against Sheffield United. So I definitely make a couple of changes, and the first one would be formation-wise. In the game against Southampton, when Willock came on later on, we actually played a 4-4-2. Aubameyang and Lacazette up front. Saka was on the left, Willock on the right. So we ended that game with a 4-4-2, and that is what I want to see us start with in this game. In goal, I'd go with Martinez. In the back four, I'd go for Niles, Socrates, Holding, and Kolasinac. Tierney went off with cramps, so I'll bring on Kolasinac for this one. And Niles, I just think Bellerin has been quite poor, and I don't think he can play 4 games in a row because of his injuries, so I'll bring back Niles there. And then in midfield, I'd have Xhaka and Willock. I don't know if Torreira is going to be back. I don't know if Guendouzi is going to be back. On the left, I'm going to go for Saka. On the right, I'm sticking with Pepe. And up front, I'll go with Lacazette and Aubameyang. This is a really important competition for us. Remember, if we win it, we can qualify for the Europa League. We might not get that through the league. Plus, it would be good for our confidence if we actually win a trophy. The likes of Man U, Man City, Tottenham are still... Man U, Man City... Chelsea, Leicester are all still in the competition, so it's not going to be easy. On the bench, I'm going to have Nelson, Nketiah, Ozil, Ceballos, Bellerin, maybe Luis if he's back, Mustafi, Guendouzi, and of course Matt Messi. In the second half, we could make a couple of changes. I want to see Ozil coming on for this one. I want to see maybe Guendouzi coming on for this one. Nketiah played well against Southampton, worked hard. Bring on Nelson for this one. So that would be my formation for the game. Oba up front with Laka, Pepe, Saka, Willock, and Xhaka in the middle, Kolasinac, Holding, Socrates, Niles, and Martinez as the goalkeeper. With this formation, Willock can drift forward and leave Xhaka as a lone midfielder. Holding midfielder. So remember, Sheffield play with 3 defenders, and some of the defenders are injured. They'll have to play the likes of Jagielka. So we have to have Oba and Lack up front. They could make mistakes anytime. We have to attack. No, nothing to lose in this game. Remember, if we draw, straight to extra time, I think, not penalties. I think it's actually penalties straight. I'm actually not quite sure about that. I'm going to write it in this on screen. So if we go with this lineup, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. It's never Arsenal if we don't struggle for it. So yeah, a 2-1 victory for Arsenal. Let me know in the comment section what your lineup would be, what changes would you make, what your prediction is, and yeah, obviously I'll have another quiz related to this preview and related to this game later on today. The questions come from this preview, 5 questions. So if you've caught all the stats, you're ready for the quiz. And yeah, let's wait for the game. Let's hope we win. Let's hope we get to the semi-finals. Thanks for watching this video. Keep staying safe, keep taking good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you later.